Hi there, Lori. Hi, Vesta. Welcome. Last Wednesday, when we met for a Facebook Live, many of us were gearing up for some very, very frigid and temperatures and windy, snowy conditions. So I hope you all survived that well. Today got up to 43 in central Ohio. So it felt like a heat wave compared to wind chills of 34 below on Friday and Saturday. So a little bit crazy, and then this weekend's supposed to warm up and we're going to get lots of rain. So it was interesting here. Depending on where you lived in the Columbus area, you got more or less. But I had so much drifting on my street. So like the middle of my driveway was like a foot of snow. It was crazy. And then we cleared some of it, and then the next day, same thing. It was blowing and drifting. Same in the backyard. So anyways, but it was a very pretty white Christmas, and I hope you all had a wonderful weekend celebrating the holidays with your family and friends. Mine was wonderful. I was with my sister's family on Friday. Our two families always try to get together and we exchange gifts. Lots and lots of fun. And you're not going to believe this, and I'm so excited about it. But my sister and brother-in-law gave me a pack and play for Christmas because they know I'm so excited about being a first-time grandma next year. It's not till beginning of July, but I'm super excited. And I had told them that was one of the first things I was going to buy for setting things up at grandma's house. So that was a lot of fun. John and Andrea hosted Christmas Eve. We had so much fun that day. Lots of puzzles, games. We watched some football, movies. We played the saran wrap game with the oven mitts. Oh my gosh, I have never done that. None of us had done it before. We laughed so hard. It was amazing. Just so fun and silly. We just laughed and laughed. And John asked, can we do this every Christmas Eve? So I think it might be a new tradition for our Christmas Eve festivities. And then I hosted Christmas Day with the family, and we did breakfast and gifts and had a kind of an early steak dinner. And John and Andrea left about mid-afternoon to then drive to West Virginia to spend time with John's family. So very busy, but jam-packed full of family fun. So mine was really great. And like I said, I hope yours was very enjoyable as well. On couple of reminders. We are down to about the last week or so, 7-9 days, something like that, of the last chance list for the mini catalog. The best place to find out what is still left is on my website, marynabe.stampinup.net. And you can go right to the specials section, and there is a list for, there's a link for you to see all of the last chance products and what's retiring. And some are discounted, but I know there's still quite a few left, but I can't tell you exactly what. In addition, I still have just a few of the Wonderful World classes to go kits available. I have very limited number, and because these products were from our summer celebration, the Wonderful World Designer Series paper and the coordinating stamp. So information about that is on my blog, stampinpeace.com. If you are not a subscriber to my blog and or my newsletter, the best place to do that is at stampinpeace.com in the right-hand column. Those are the two places. And I would say my blog is the number one place to see all of the information about what's happening in my Stampin' Peace business. And then number two would be the newsletters. All right, tonight I'm going to introduce you to some more new products from the mini catalog that begins on January 5th. I'm going to be introducing you to the Country Lane suite, and we will be using several items from that suite today. I'm going to flip my camera around now, and while I do that, please share this live video so that other people can join us for tonight's demonstrations. Alrighty, I have 3 projects for you tonight. But before we do that, I want to show you all of the products in the Country Lane suite. I would say it's one of my top 3, maybe even the top number 1 suite. And by the way, January 5th, I will do a catalog walkthrough. Something's not quite right here. I will do a catalog, mini catalog and celebration brochure walkthrough here live on January 5th at 10 a.m. So I'm not usually live on a Thursday and not at that time. And at that time, I'll show you some of my favorites, point out some things that may have been overlooked, etc. Oh, Cindy, that's your birthday, January 5th. Well, remind me that day, unless you're out celebrating with a birthday breakfast or something. But we can wish you a happy birthday then, too. All right, this is one of those fabulous super mega suites. In that mega suite, there are 2 bundles, 2 DSPs, a ribbon combo, and an embellishment. So a whole lot of stuff. Let me first show you the designer series paper. Hearts and flowers. And they use mint macaron, mossy meadow, petal pink, and sweet sorbet. So really very nice. Lots of hearts for Valentine's Day, for anniversaries, perhaps wedding, bridal shower, love, that sort of thing. And then on the back, we have some more subtle and geometric prints on the back in balmy blue, petal pink, and sweet sorbet. So you can see that a number of these you could use throughout the year for different occasions. Even on the other side, like I think this would be a great one for sympathy cards. Many of these would work for birthday. I think this could be a thinking of you or a summer birthday. I think this is gorgeous for birthdays, anniversaries, just hello, reaching out kind of cards. And I do want to point out that this particular DSP coordinates with the punch, okay? And I will be showing you that in one of the projects tonight. And then they also have a 6x6 designer series paper. This is a package of 48 sheets. There's 6 different sheets printed on 2 sides, and then you get 8 of each sheet. So you would get 8 of this, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. So really nice if you are a demonstrator and having a class. Very nice if you want to make a whole set of something. But the colors are, again, fabulous. Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink, Balmy Blue, and Mint Macaron. And ginghams, plaids, great for anything. Very classic look. And honestly, this might be my favorite in the whole catalog. You know how much I love DSP, but I love the versatility of this one. Okay, love the versatility of it. I can even see using these for baby cards, things like that. Maybe putting some spring flowers on. How about with the ladybugs and the cherries? So coordinates with just about anything, really. Now, I told you there were 2 bundles in there. Look at this one. We'll be using this one today, the Country Bouquet bundle, and it's got this coordinating punch. Here are the pieces that it punches out, so you can stamp and then punch. Or, as I said, you can punch from that one sheet of designer series paper, the 12 by 12. In addition to this bundle, we have another bundle called Love for You. And I love this, again, for its versatility. It's not just for Valentine's Day. Neither one of these bundles is just for Valentine's Day. But look at this. In addition to Valentine's Day, they have Happy Anniversary, Congratulations, Nobody Gets Me Like You Get Me. Wouldn't that be a great to send to your best friend? Thanks for all you do each and every day. And you can see how you can mix and match the sentiments. Then you've got these flowers and leaves, and we have dies to cut those out. And then we have a variety of ways to cut out the words. So we can stamp and cut out the outlines of them, and then we can put them on a bubble layer behind. We could also just cut out these thin words from cardstock, even DSP. And if you're using the very thin, the words made with the very thin, fine letters, I would suggest using an adhesive sheet for that. But we will work with the Love for You bundle on Friday's Facebook Live. Okay, that's Friday's Facebook Live. Today we'll be focusing on the Country Bouquet bundle. And then they also have this great ribbon combo, this red, and I like it's a little bit thinner than what we've had lately. And it's really easy to work with, makes nice bows because it is thin. Then we have this one, which I guess is kind of like a crumb cake, but it sort of has a gold sheen to it. Not real shiny, just a gold sheen. And then it's got the stitching on each side. So we'll be using some of this as well. And then they have these wonderful pastel adhesive back sequins. 3 colors. And don't you love how they threw in some gold there? So we get the balmy blue and the pinks. And then they threw in this matte gold. And they each size, each color comes in 2 sizes. So there's 2 sheets of sequins in there. So that's a great deal as well. Okay, let's get started. For my first project, we're going to do an easy treat favor. Okay, Cindy, I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but you can message me after the live, okay? So during the holidays, you know, I'm always looking for stocking stuffers and that sort of thing. I always put a little candy treat in the stockings as well. And this is what I did this year with that candy cane sweet, that DSP, and some retired braided ribbon. I just wrapped boxes of M&Ms and decorated them like that. Super, super simple. And then I got to thinking, well, you know, those sheets of the candy cane paper where you can use your dies and cut out each of the candy canes. And I decided I would use some of those candy canes for a heart. And I combined those candy canes with some DSP and a stamp from the suite. So I think that's a fun, easy way. And I'm going to show you how I cover the box. Very simple, give you a couple quick tips. And then we're going to decorate this box using items from the Country Lane suite. So I've already cut my designer series paper. To cut it, you want to measure the width, and then you want to measure each of the sides and then add 1 inch, and that will give you your length. Okay, so just the width and then all the way around and add 1 inch to that length. And I'm not even going to tell you the size of it because it varies from, and I call this movie candy when you get it in the boxes like this. Sometimes you can get them like 10 for $1. But notice how the M&M box is such a different size. So there's no point in me giving you dimensions because it will be dependent on what candies you choose. So what I like to do is, and I don't score mine, I like to just pull my DSP around, and I like one edge of the DSP to get very close to the corner, okay, or very close to the side of the box. Not all the way, but very close. And then I just take my fingers and I crease each of the corners. So just wrap it and crease with your thumb and index finger. And then you have this flap. So here's a tip for hiding that seam along the back. I know it's on the back side and it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but sometimes it's nice if we can just do something slightly different than we might initially think and have a cleaner look. So I'm now going to fold that small flap in, and then I've put my adhesive along the opposite edge, and I'm going to pull it over and match up the top and bottom, and then just press down. So now my seam is right on that edge and it's nearly invisible, right? Somebody would really have to look to see that. Okay, so super simple and easy. The other reason I like to do this, you know, some people are savers. I know it's just paper. Some people will throw it out after the night, but it's also a way that people can just slide the DSP on and off, okay? And I'm going to turn mine this direction. I intentionally made it so my hearts would be going vertical in this direction on the box, okay? I did say that I would be using the punch with the Coordinating Designer Series paper. Looks pretty good. And I get all 4 pieces at once, quick and easy. And here's my leaf. It's kind of hidden there. Okay, so I have that. Now, I think my flower needs a stem, but there is not a stem in the Country Bouquet stamp set. So let me show you what I am going to use for a stem. I'm just taking my Mossy Meadow Stampin' Right marker, choosing Mossy Meadow because that matches these leaves. And I'm just going to do that. Super simple. Doesn't have to be perfectly curved, perfectly straight, anything. Just a quick swipe. And then I'm quickly going to cut this out with my paper snips, just leaving a very small white edge. There may be stems in other stamp sets you have, but this is just so quick and easy. So now I'm just kind of looking to position everything. I'm going to put my sweet sorbet flower, heart flower, on a dimensional. You know, I need to adjust this camera because I'm having a hard time staying in the frame without having to reach across the desktop so much. Sorry about that. And then I'm using some mini dimensionals for these leaves. If you don't have the minis, just cut your large ones a bit. You can bring the, whoops, would help if I remove the adhesive backing, right? You can move your leaves down if you want. You can even space them separately instead of together. I think that looks pretty good. I'll leave it like that. And then I just kind of tuck my stem right underneath. And I use just the very slightest bit of multi-purpose glue. I'm going to tuck this under, just like that. And then I'm going to finish this off before I actually put it on the front of the treat. So I've cut a strip. I believe this is 1/2 inch by 3.5. And I'm going to first punch each end. This is our new Happy Label punch that you'll see in the mini catalog. One punch is like a ticket punch, ticket end, and then the other is more of a small scallop. And I'm going to use the small scallop. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Sweet Sorbet. So the sentiment is Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to put my Stampin' Pierce mat here for some extra cushion. And I'm just going to center this, center this on that banner. Then I'm going to put a single dimensional on each end of this banner, and I do want it all the way to the end. Yeah, no, we can go one in the middle too. And the reason being is that I not only want to stick the banner to my white, but I also would love it to stick to this piece that is sliding off. It's not a must, but I think it'll just be a little bit better, especially if people are handling this and sliding it on and off, that sort of thing. And I'll do that. Put this down. It covers up the end of my stem. And then I've got this other heart that I can add anywhere I like. And I think I'll add it on the right side of the stem. You could even layer it up on the flower like that, or put it on either side. And I love how that turned out. What do you think? So you can see right there, that's a super easy thing to do. If you're making multiple treats, I would suggest you do all the wrapping first. You put the base on first, and then do your embellishing all at once. That way, if you're making 5 or 10 or whatever, it's quick and easy. It'll save you a little bit time by doing it assembly line style as well. All right. So, and don't forget, if you have some of those candy canes from our holiday paper, you can use those up by turning 2 candy canes into a heart. Okay. All right. So that's the treat. Next, we're going to do a slimline card. And then on the last card, we're going to do some 2-step stamping. Now, for my slimline card, I make mine so that the finished card measures 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So I take a piece of 8.5 by 11. I need 3.5 and 3.5 for the width, so that's 7 inches. So I can pull out the arm and measure 7 inches, or I can just subtract the 7 inches from 11 inches, which means I'm cutting off 4 inches. All right, and then I'm going to score this at 3.5. Okay, so 7 inches by 8.5, and then I scored on the short side at 3.5 inches. Give that a nice crease with your bone folder. And then I've got all these pieces. The balmy blue and the basic white measure 8.25 by 3.25. I'm putting the white on the inside. And I'm putting the balmy blue on the front. Okay, now this is the designer series paper I want to use, and I want a strip that goes across like that. So let me pull out my paper trimmer again. And instead of just randomly cutting, 2 inches or 2.5 or whatever, I use the actual lines created by the images to do my cutting. So in other words, I want this whole section right here, from that bottom row of little hearts to this top edge of little hearts. So what I'm going to do is just line this up on my cutter, and I can see where the cutting line is. Okay, it's just a little bit above the balmy blue hearts. So it ends up being like 3 1/8 if you want to cut all that. Maybe you just want the bicycles. Maybe you just want the bicycles with the flowers. Maybe you just want the flower strips. Okay, so there's a lot of versatility right in this. And then I need to cut this to, let's see, that was 3 1/8. So I want to cut this to 8 1/8. Okay. I feel like I need to go off just a wee bit. right here. There. Just want to, and you notice I just eyeballed it. I didn't measure. I just want the top and bottom to have about the same amount of white space. And then I will put this on my card front. Isn't this print pretty for a baby card, baby boy? Not that only boys can like blue, but you get what I mean. Okay, put that on. And then I'm going to use a different sentiment from the Country Bouquet stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it in Balmy Blue ink on Balmy Blue cardstock. We don't always have to stamp our sentiments on white. This kind of gives some variety to what we're doing. You know what? It came out a little light on the bottom. So I'm going to restamp that on the back. See if I can get a little bit more. Oh, that's more even color. And then I'm going to punch it out with the Label Me Fancy punch. And then I went ahead and punched some Sweet Sorbet cardstock with the Label Me Lovely punch. So these two coordinate. And actually on this, you can use this in either direction. Typically I do like that, but sometimes I have a sentiment maybe that's long or just a word or an initial, and I want to put it this direction, okay? Because you know, when you buy these products, they are yours and you can use them in any creative way that you want, all right? It's great to have ideas from other people, but don't ever feel the pressure to do exactly what somebody else is doing or to use your products in only one way. Our products are designed to be versatile, so take advantage of that. Then I'm going to put a good amount of adhesive on the back of this. And this is what I'm going to do. I want some ribbon to go across my card front at an angle, and then I'm going to hold it down with the punched layers. Just like that. And then I'll just trim off the ends. Go a little shorter on that. And then we'll add a bit of bling, not a lot, but just a little bit of bling with our gold sequins. You know what I love most about these sequins? In addition to the fact that there's 3 colors and 2 sizes, there's no holes in these sequins. I have a thing about holes in sequins. I know they were designed that way, but unless you're sewing them on, to me it just doesn't make a lot of sense to have holes in adhesive or in sequins. But others may feel differently, I understand. So just a few quick embellishments there, and my card is finished. Super simple. Oh, you know, I'm seeing a couple comments here. I love, Kathy, that you gave Fran a reminder Thanks so much. I'm sure she appreciates it too. So I love it that you all remind your friends, and because I know we all have lots to remember, right? I'm constantly setting alarms on my cell phone. All right, what do you think of that one? Pretty spiffy, I would say. Be sure to hang on to the end because I will be giving away the Slimline card and the next card I'm going to make. So on my next card, we're going to be doing some two-step stamping, okay? Some two-step stamping. And we went over two-step stamping, was it last week or the week, maybe the week before? Using the, oh gosh, what stamp set was that? Petal Park, I believe. But this is another form of two-step stamping. I've used some of my gingham paper in the Sweet Sorbet, and this is cut 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and just adding it to my card front. I had a little bit left, so I just have this narrow strip, and I'm going to add that. Jan, I so agree with you. This paper is a must-have. Super versatile, super versatile. Okay, and I'm just adding that to the inside of my card. And the reason I have it like this is now my top, bottom, and left borders have pretty much the same size border as what's on my front, okay? Next, I'm going to do some stamping. I do have this tiny piece of ribbon that we will be using as a little embellishment, okay? Margaret, yes, it's happy paper. I couldn't have said it better. That's a good way to describe it. It's happy paper. All right, so for stamping this card, I'm using Mint Macaron and Sweet Sorbet. And the first thing I'm going to do is stamp the sentiment in the top left corner. And it says, just wanted to say. Just wanted to say. So I'm going to stamp that in the top left corner. And then I have I love you that I'm going to stamp in Sweet Sorbet in the bottom right corner. Gianna, I love that idea of using a DSP strip to decorate the left side of your envelope. I have done that, but it's been a very long time since I thought to do that. So I'll have to remember that. Okay, then we have two stamps, okay, that are meant to be layered. So you have more like leaves and foliage on the one, and the other is more flowers and little hearts. So I have tried this both ways, stamping the florals first and then the leaves. And then I've also tried stamping the leaves first and then the florals. My preference is to stamp the leaves first. And the reason I say that is it's a little bit taller than the other. So it needs a little more space. So if you're going to try to center things, you're going to be able to do that more easily if you're using the largest size, okay? All right, so you see the leaves and the foliage there. And then I'm going to stamp the flowers and the hearts in Sweet Sorbet. And what you want to do is look directly over the top. Okay, look directly over the top of your stamp and your stamped images. And you will find there's these white spaces where the flowers will just kind of naturally fit in. One thing I noticed, there's like 2 little flowers here that match up with these 2 stems. It's never going to, you don't have to be perfect. But if you just play with it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 times on scrap paper, it's then very easy to see where the flowers fit in. Okay? So not too bad, right? Okay. Now I said we were going to use this little piece of ribbon for the embellishment. I want to show you something. I have this little blue gift bag, and I've got just odds and ends of ribbon in here. You know how you get to the end of a bolt of ribbon and you might have just a few inches left, but it's too much to throw away and you don't have an immediate use for it? I stick mine in there. And then every once in a while, if I need a little embellishment, something kind of subtle, I'll just pull out a scrap from there. But what I'm going to do is use 1 glue dot to adhere these 2 ends together. All right, so there's my glue dot. I'm just going to fold in half so the other end is on top of it. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is adhering this to the back of my white. And that's just my simple little embellishment. So it's a great fun way to use up some of your ribbon ends. Notice I put just a little bit more adhesive there than I did the other corners because I want to line this up so that it looks like it's in line with the I love you sentiment. And then I still have plenty of adhesive above and below it as well to stick to the card front. Okay. Oh, actually, I was going to pop this up on dimensionals. What was I thinking? That's okay. I can still do that. Because you know me, what's a card without dimensionals, right? So you only need to put the adhesive in that one corner behind the ribbon if you're using dimensionals. A little brain fart, that's what my mom would have called it. That little mistake. And I'm just going to center this right on my card front. Quick, easy, simple. It's elegant. It's classy looking. And it wasn't hard to make. Not hard at all. All right. If you wanted to use some other embellishments, you might add in some of the gold sequins. Another thing I thought of is adding the tiny little pearls to some of the, oh, those aren't the right ones, to some of the, oh, we even have these. I forgot about these. Oh, maybe we'll use those instead. Classic matte dots. But you can see, you can add some pearls in there. But since I pulled out the classic matte dots first, I'm going to use those. And you don't necessarily need to do all of them. You just might do some of them, depending on the number of dimensionals you have. this one also. And, oh, I think I should do this one. Now the others are pretty small. You could add those as well, but I think just using them on the 5 largest flowers is very effective. And I just thought of another thing. I have not been using this very much. What about the clear Wink of Stella? Right? Just give a little shimmer. Maybe I'll put some shimmer on those hearts. Again, I'm just picking and choosing. Some of the images on here. You might like to do it on all of the flowers and hearts, or on the leaves as well. Okay, I think I got all the hearts. So that just adds a touch of shimmer as well. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera. But there's a couple of ways to show you how you can embellish that card. Dress it up just a tad bit. Okay, what do you think? Let me bring all these back in. I better close up my ink pads first because you know that could be disastrous. And again, here are all the colors in the Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink, Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, and Mossy Meadow. So you can see how they look so nice together, and then you can mix and match all the colors in the Sweet. So here was my movie candy treat box. This, let me get up a little, the Slimline card and the I Love You card. What do you think? Do you have a favorite? Do you love them all? I think this, you know, just the bundle alone allows for lots of creativity and versatility, but then you combine it with the 2 different DSPs and the 2 different ribbons and some sequins, and even could combine them with the other bundle as well. Okay. If you would like to be entered into the drawing to, Carol says number 3. Okay, the Slimline card. Okay, Laura. And some like them all. Interesting. Lost my train of thought. Oh, giveaways. If you would like to be entered into the drawing to receive either the I Love You card or the Friends card, please comment Country Bouquet. Country Bouquet. That will help us remember the name of that suite. And this is just one of the bundles in the Country Lane suite. Country Bouquet. Don't you love it when the stamp sets have a coordinating punch and coordinating dies? That just makes my heart like skip a beat. Okay, I will draw names, and I'm going to do it very soon because I've gotten in the habit of waiting and letting it go till I post to the blog, and that's just not good. And I did have a new blog post go up today, so I hope you will take a look at that, stampinpeace.com. Okay, people are still commenting Country Bouquet. Awesome. Shanda says she loves it. Shanda's on my team. Okay, I'm going to scroll back really quickly and see if there were any questions I missed along the way. Pam, I'm glad you like the projects. Janice, you weren't sure about it, but now I've sold you. You know, and sometimes that is very true. I will think, oh, I'm not interested in something. And then I see somebody else using it, and I suddenly think, oh, and then the light bulbs start coming on, and I can think of all kinds of ways to use it. Sometimes you just need a little inspiration, right? Okay, good night, everybody. I plan to be back with you Friday at 2 p.m. here on Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. If you like what you see here, would you please like the Facebook page and invite your friends and other crafty people in your life to also like the page? And that just helps me reach more people and share creativity. All right. Have a great evening. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope to see you Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Time here on Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. Take care.